This conference will now be recorded.
So hello and welcome to all the participants who are attending today's webinar and those of you who will be watching the recording later on Facebook or YouTube or any other channel. So I welcome you all, and this is one of, again, a very exciting topic, and the topic is the death of Excel dashboards. And I know that the title is so very exciting, and it's generated a curiosity that is Excel dashboards are either no longer be a part, or the dashboards which we create usually in Excel might be shifting to the other applications, and it's really a death of Excel dashboards. So in this webinar, that will be a more like a discussion that either um, it's a best practice to create Excel dashboards, or we need to create dashboards in other applications. So let's get started with the webinar. And if you have any questions, feel free to write in the chat window, and I will try my level best to answer your queries. So let's begin. I hope some of you know me, and if you don't know me, you can have my profile preview. I am the founder and CEO of Excel Basement Private Limited. I'm the Microsoft certified trainer, Microsoft Office specialist in 2013, 16, and 19. You can anytime add me on LinkedIn or Facebook, whatever you like, and do subscribe the Excel Basement channel on YouTube for more updates. So the topic of this webinar is the death of Excel dashboards. And first of all, I would like to have a disclaimer here. So the title of this webinar is a one-side perception, um, and this session is based on discussing the two school of thoughts. Either Excel dashboards are useful, or BI tools have taken place for dashboards. And I would like to share some of the tips and tricks on speeding up Excel dashboards. And definitely we have some few limitations when we create dashboard reports in Microsoft Excel. So thoroughly, it's a kind of a discussion webinar where you will be taken over to explore what kind of limitations when we create Excel dashboard when we have a large data sets. Because when you have the small data sets, you can easily create dashboards in Excel by using the pivot tables, slicers, charts, and make some more interactivity by using the VB as well. So I have put the disclaimer here that the death of Excel dashboards is one-side perception, but as we can observe that in the industry, we have two school of thoughts, two kind of users, one who are still making dashboards in Microsoft Excel, and the ones who have switched themselves towards the business intelligence applications for creating dashboards and sharing and collaboration purposes. So let's get started. Now, after the disclaimer, as you can see on my screen, there is a dashboard, very pretty attractive dashboards in which the user has applied some rules, some visual rules, some designing rules as well. For example, the contrast of the dashboard colors in terms of fonts, in terms of sizes and alignment, in terms of proximity, and definitely the storytelling that this dashboards represent the HR and sales dashboards where you have the important KPIs on top. And then you have some graphics and charts according to the management requirement. And definitely on the back end, there is a data and might be the data updates on daily basis or a weekly basis or a monthly basis, so as per time period. And we know that in Microsoft Excel we have to use the shapes, conditional formatting, the layouts of the different tables, pivot tables, the charts which we have available as a built-in, or sometimes we need to have some quick techniques to modify the charts in order to have a customization. Also the infographics we can create in the dashboards. So this is primarily a very neat and clean dashboard, as you can observe. And on the reality basis, the dashboards, these kind of dashboards are not created in a very less period of time, either in 1 hour or 2 hours. It's need more than 15 or 20 hours to think about the layouts, to think about the sketch, to discuss with the managers in the meeting, and then to come up with the important KPIs and the visuals to be placed in dashboards, either you are creating in Microsoft Excel or any other business intelligence application. But so far, when we compare to Excel with another BI tool application, so there we have built-in visuals available as well as custom available. I need to just drag it and all those visuals and Microsoft Excel, we need to convey this zero and also have the large is a on the corporate dashboard for media idea numbers you can see. So these kind of targets, once you have created that, you can share with the management or your line managers for decision making according to their strategies for the following year for the next years. Then again, one is here. This the help of certain features available in Excel, and also depends which kind of version, Microsoft Excel version you are using. Either you are using the very old version, that is Excel 2007, or you are using the latest version that might be 2013, 2016, 2019, or with a subscription of Office 365 subscription, Insider Fast program or Insider Slow program. So it's all depends on the version compatibility and the latest features you have, which might be good. You will be applying to make some good dashboards. Okay, so the previous or the older versions could not let you to make these kind of attractive dashboards as compared to the latest version of Excel. Now, the first practical real-time case study which I want to share with you in this webinar is that I have a dashboard file which is definitely in Microsoft Excel, and it's .xlsm format. Normally when we create any kind of Excel workbook, it's by default .xlsx, but the extension of this particular Excel dashboard is .xlsm, which means this particular Excel workbook contains macros. So this Excel workbook contain macros. And the size of this particular Excel dashboard workbook is 130 MB, or if you want to read it in KB, so 129649 KBs. So this similar to 130 MB, and 130 MB file size definitely takes a lot of time to open, even a lot of time to recalculate, and also if you want to change or want to update something, it takes a lot of time to refresh as well. So getting a big data into Microsoft Excel and creating a dashboards within those workbooks when this file size is being constantly increasing, it slows down your Excel spreadsheets. Either you have created the reports or the dashboards. So in this webinar, I am discussing some of the issues through which we can say that there is a one-side perception, the actual depth of Excel dashboards, and most of the time dashboards now being created in the other business intelligence applications, because we need the speed optimization control and also the transformation and managing the data, and also overall sharing those dashboards with the management as well. So now you have an idea that I have a dashboard workbook which is approximately 130 MB. So now the first issue uh, comes with respect to this kind of an Excel dashboard report where we have a lot of data. It takes a lot of time to open the file. Sometimes it takes 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or even 4 minutes to process and open the workbook like this heavy file. And we don't have practically one heavy file on our systems. There are multiple Excel files open at the same time. So if you open one Excel heavy file, the other Excel files might also a chance for the hang. And sometimes Excel application get hangs and we need to restart again, going to the task manager and then doing the end task to the Excel and then again opening of that particular Excel file. So might be sometimes it comes with the auto recovery option, so you can recover that last action you done in the Excel workbooks, and sometimes you lost that data as well. So it's a highly critical because it's also depends on the computer hardware you are using. If you are using with a less RAM and your processor are not compatible for handling the large Excel workbook, so definitely it takes a lot of times to open and to execute as well. then there is a lot of time consuming in updating the results. When you have a large data sets in your Excel workbooks, and when you apply a formula or a function, just like you are applying VLOOKUP, or you are doing simple calculation like sum, average, max, min, or you are doing more complex functions, formulas like you are applying nested if or any other kind of a formula. So it's get a lot of time to actually update those Excel files which have a large data sets. So there is a lackness that the time consuming in updating the results takes a lot of time. Third is big data. Now Excel, in the previous version, or the older version of Microsoft Excel, it was very big issue in handling the large data sets of within the Excel and to create the dashboards out of that. For example, if I am working in a bank and my bank has almost, let's suppose, 1600 branches all over Pakistan, so it would be very difficult that I could have every branch wise transaction and I want to visualize in dashboard. So I would be taking, for example, last 2 years of data, which is more than, let's suppose, 5 million of rows, and taking all those big data into the Excel, importing that definitely creates file size very bigger, takes a lot of time to open, and it would be very hectic and painful area for me that to manage that data and to handle that data. So after that, when we came in 2010 and 13 and 16 versions, we have the new language which is called DAX, and we have a business intelligence tools within the Microsoft Excel. For example, Power Query for the data transformation, for Power Pivot to push that big data into the Power Pivot, and to apply the analytics by applying the DAX functions, right? So up to that extent, we could handle, let's suppose, 100, 150, 200 MB file. But let's suppose if a data file size is 1 GB or 2 GB, so now Excel would not let you to uh, work very smoothly with that kind of files. It will become again a painful area for you to execute those kind of files within the Excel. So uh, taking one question from the chat window here, Altaf Bakwani is saying, can Power Query and Power Pivot feature is support to Excel dashboards? Power Query is a tool where you clean or transform your data. Power Pivot is a tool from where you have the data model, and on top of that data model, you apply the DAX feature to do the analytics. And you ultimately you create a Power Pivot out of that, where you can apply the slicers, timelines, and some charts to make it interactive. But still, if you have a big data, for example, the file size is 500 MB, 600 MB, definitely it will take a time to execute or run and update the results. So definitely overall it slow downs the process of Excel workbooks as compared to the other applications open at the same time on your desktop, right? So all right, so a quick check can be made here. If you can hear my voice and it's audible, because Praveen has written that my voice has some problems. So if my voice is clear, kindly write yes in the chat window so that I can cross check my connection as well. And Praveen, if you still having any connection issues, kindly rejoin the webinar. All right. Okay, so continuing with this webinar now, the third point was to handle the big data is kind of an issue for us. um, Now, another thing is that file might corrupt or hang suddenly, which restarts the Excel, which I already told you. Sometimes even a file size is only 10 MB, but there are a lot of multiple files or softwares open at the same times, which are consuming the random access memory RAM on our systems. So the file might get corrupt or hang suddenly, which needs to restart the Excel, and all our efforts go in useless. So that's why the business intelligence tool applications are very handy and useful in doing or creating the dashboards with the big data, and they have no such kind of issues as compared to Microsoft Excel. So yes, bigger file size, as you can see on the screen, that I have a workbook which is called dashboard.xlsm, and the file size is 130 MB. And in this file, I only have 2 to 3 years of data. Now, for example, if I add few more years of data, for example, last 10 years data, last 15 years data, right? And I have different columns in this file. in my data, like SKUs, different markets, different products, different segments, right? So definitely, if the current file size is 130 MB with only 2 years of data, and if I add 10 years of data, it goes like 400, 500 MB, which again creates a lot of trouble for me as well. So these are some of the challenging issues. As I told you that I worked for one of the client, and those speed optimization challenges were coming. Now moving forward, let me show you one of the practical example and one of the client which I worked in last 5 to 6 years back. So there is a dashboard on your screen which is called the sales performance dashboard, and in that dashboard you can see that a lot of Excel features has been applied. For example, you can see a graphic works, you can see different kind of shapes as well, which represent some KPIs. You have the images of different products. You have a slicers at the bottom, likewise location, product, sub product, and the time period. And you have some buttons, like if you want to go to summary, you can click on summary. And furthermore, if you can see this first red arrow, if you can see this first red arrow, there is a yellow strip which says that some active content has been disabled. Click for more details. Now, as I know that in my this particular Excel dashboard, I have added a VBA, and I have added a VBA because whenever the user will click on this help button, it will prompt a screen, and that screen will show that for more help or for more assistance, email us at this email address or contact us this phone number. So for that kind of interactivity in the dashboard, sometimes you need to add VBA. And also VBA sometimes when they execute in the large dashboards, there is a chances that your dashboards get slow in performing, right? So this is one of the layout on the big data, that this file is consist of 130 MB data, which has only few years of data. But you can see that there are a lot of challenges to do that. Another thing in this dashboard is there is a sales summary, sales performance summary 2013, and you can see there is a table in which we have the different locations, and we can see the secondary sales, primary sales, and the target and the achieved percentage, the difference of that. But in one cell, you can see a very big formula here, and that's too huge formula to understand that what this actually is doing. Basically, it's filtering out the secondary sales of the apex region based on monthly data on the Kannauр, deserts, Karachi, and SKU products. So it's multiple filtering out from the data as per according to the layout of this table and the filters which have been applied above, right? So it's a very complex formula to understand within 2 minutes or 3 minutes of time. So this means that the data which we get from the client is not a transactional kind of a data. It's more than a tabular, and a difference between a tabular and a non-tabular data. So it's also depend that which kind of data set you get from the client, or which kind of data set you are maintaining. So if your data set is not up to the mark of data modeling standards, then you have to apply very complex formulas. And when you apply very complex formulas, it creates a lot of time to execute the results for your dashboards. Because once you have a large data sets, when you have a lot of data in your data sets, one cell formula takes 2 to 3 minutes to execute. So 2 3 minutes for just one cell to execute the result. Definitely the manager or the vice president within the organizations get frustrated because the dashboard is updating too slow. Now, as compared to the Excel, if we use the business intelligence application where our dashboards are uploaded to the cloud, and we are just clicking on the dashboard features like slicers or any other visuals or buttons, it updates within a few seconds of time. But as compared to Excel, when we have the large data sets, it takes 2 to 3 minutes to update that particular dashboard. So it creates a painful area and frustration for the vice presidents or the board of directors to just see the screen, which is entirely loading for next 2 minutes. So there is a lot of issues in the Excel dashboards. That's why one of the perception is that the death of Excel dashboards idea came up with one school of thought that we should migrate our all dashboards and visuals to different BI applications where speed optimization should not be an issue. But still, as we see in the industry, we have a lot of users who are still creating dashboards in Microsoft Excel, but on a daily basis they found new kind of challenges, new kind of problems by adding more VBA to it, more complex formulas to it, and that creates a lot of painful area for the other users to utilize that dashboard. And within the Microsoft Excel, it's very difficult to share that dashboards on a mobile or iPad, because we don't have such uh, responsive behavior of Excel dashboard application when we share it on mobile or any other device other than the desktop, as compared to BI tools. Okay. Now, as you can see the preview of the data, now this particular dashboard has been developed by this specific data set. And this is just a one view of Excel spreadsheet data where we have a sub brands and SKU and month-wise columns. Now the time period and every of the transaction is being on a column side. So we have MTD, we have YTD, they are the different time periods according to the organization. So this represent the secondary sales, the primary sales, and this kind of data set is very complex to create these kind of formulas to generate the results for the dashboard. So once you have a complex data set, you will get a complex formulas as well for your dashboard. So we need to minimize that. Now, what are those limitations which we need to understand, that whenever we create Excel dashboards, we come over some of the limitations. So first of all, the data consolidation. For example, if you are creating a dashboard for the overall picture of that organization, so you are taking data from finance, you are taking data from HR, you are taking data from supply chain, and you are doing the data consolidation. It takes a lot of time to do consolidation in Microsoft Excel until unless the standards and the data sets are similar. But now, one thing is that in the latest version of Microsoft Excel, you have uh, the BI tool, which is the Power Query. Now, the Power Query is very uh, amazing tool in doing the data transformation and then loading it to the Microsoft Excel. So data consolidation gets easier when you use Power Query, but a lot of users don't know about the Power Query tool as well within the Excel. So it again goes on a difficult side when we tell about the data consolidation. So people do either through the VBA by creating a macros to do the data consolidation. They put all the Excel workbooks in a one folder and they take all the data into one Excel workbook from the multiple workbooks. So if you want to learn about Power Query, definitely you can go to my channel, YouTube Excel Basement, where you can find a lot of videos. But as we are talking about the only the Excel perception, so data consolidation with a manual technique has a limitations to it. Then there is one more limitation, is the version control limitation, right? So in the industry, as I have observed with a lot of clients, still few of the clients are using Excel 2007 and some of the clients are using Excel 2016 and 2019. So earlier in this webinar, we have also discussed that the version should be the latest version, the subscribed version, in order to apply and get the latest features with respect to the dashboards. So sometimes it's a compatibility issues. For example, if you are making an Excel dashboard in the latest version and you are sharing with the other department colleague and he has the older version of Microsoft Excel, so definitely the features which are available in the latest will not work in the older versions. So there is a lot of issues with the compatibility of versions. Customization options, definitely in Microsoft Excel, when you start creating dashboards, you don't have a choice to just click on the visual and that uh, drag and drop the data fields and the visual gets ready. That's happening in the BI tools. But in Microsoft Excel, you have to do a lot of customizations, a lot of manipulations and transformations with regard to the visuals as well. So a lot of efforts need to be put in Microsoft Excel dashboards manually as compared to the other BI tools. Next is the real-time updates. As compared to Excel dashboards, I have seen a lot of users that their dashboards are not the real-time updates. And as compared to the business intelligence application, because now BI tools like Power BI, Tableau can connect through the direct data source, either through the SQL or to the Excel files or to the any other application like SAP or any accounting software. You can connect that data source through an API and you can get the real-time updates of your dashboards. But in Microsoft Excel, a lot of users, what they do, they get the data from the IT department, then they uh, put that new data into the Excel file, and then they click on refresh button, and then their dashboard gets updated. So there is a lackness of real-time updates in Microsoft Excel when we talk about the Excel dashboards. And as we know that our head of department or the senior managers want real-time updates to be shown in the Excel dashboards. The fifth limitation of Excel dashboards are the collaboration. Definitely, as I told you that once we have created the dashboards in Microsoft Excel, uh, most of the organizations, people, employees, what they do, they email that dashboard or they put their dashboard file on local intranet sharing or SharePoint portal, and through that their bosses see the dashboard on the desktop screen or on the laptops. But when it comes to the mobile interface or the iPad interface, still we have a lot of challenges in sharing and responsive dashboards, and also with the collaboration as well. For example, in real time business intelligence application, you can apply the raw level security, you can apply the role level security according to the departments and the designation. But in Microsoft Excel, when it comes to the collaboration, you can't have these kind of features readily available until and unless you do it with a certain kind of tips and tricks by hiding the sheets or by doing the password protections or any other kind of a common sense techniques. But still the robust techniques of raw level security and raw level security are available in BI tools, not in Microsoft Excel for the collaborations. So the last but not the least about the Excel is speed up and optimization tips, because if in your organization, if you are still creating dashboard reports in Microsoft Excel, so you need some tips to follow so that your Excel dashboards can perform very smoothly. So first of all, you have to use tables to hold the data, because once you have a table in your data sets and once new data would be appending on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, that tables will hold the data automatically. You can use name ranges, you can use pivot tables for speeding up. Use non-volatile functions. We have some volatile functions as well in Microsoft Excel, which slows down our Excel dashboards and reports as well. Try to save the file in .xlsb formats. Reduce the external links, reduce the error formulas, and disable the screen updating. So these are some of the top 12 techniques if you are still creating Excel dashboards in your organizations and you are not moving forward to apply dashboards in Power BI, Tableau, or Click. So if there is a limitation of your organization that you still need to create Excel dashboards, you need to follow the speed up and optimization techniques, right? So this is all about from my side in today's webinar. That was a quick webinar about discussing that there are two school of thoughts still we have in the industry: the ones who are actually creating the Excel dashboard entirely in Microsoft Excel, and the ones who have migrated to the Power BI, Tableau, and Click, or any other kind of a BI tool for creating dashboards. And definitely we have discussed the limitations, we have discussed the intro of the webinar as well. So I hope you like today's topic, and I hope you will try to switch into the next BI tools application as compared to Excel. So thank you for attending today's webinar.